Okay, we are just going to go ahead and jump right in. I am going to demonstrate a technique called masking. And if you think of the word mask, think of what happens when you put on a mask. You cover something up, right? And same thing with stamping and crafting. If you're masking, you're covering up an image, and you're going to be able to stamp over and around it without other images interfering with that first one. So there's a couple of different ways you can do some masking. So I'm going to show you two, actually three, and on the third one I'll actually make a complete card, but the other two I'll just show you the stamping techniques, okay? So this is a card I made at a recent demonstrator swap. It was designed by my friend and Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Sherry Parker. She's, how do I say, she's my upline's upline. So she's like my Stampin' Up! Grandma, I guess you would say. But great lady, and a great card made with the Come Sail Away product suite. Okay, so let me show you how she did this. Okay, so she actually, when she was doing the masking, or we were doing the masking for this card, let me cut, I want to cut another piece of cardstock the same size, and that's measuring, just so you know, those of you watching, and it doesn't really matter what size, but it's 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Okay. And in this form of masking, you're actually masking the background area, okay? If you are watching and you would click the share button, I would greatly appreciate it. That helps me reach more people and to be able to share what I love with more people, okay? So she started by actually creating, almost like creating a stencil. And I believe she used a 2-inch punch. 2 1/4-inch punch. And you might save the circle and use it for something later, right? Okay, so this is actually going to be my mask. Hi, Karen from Arizona. Hi, Tammy. Glad you all are with me tonight. And I just jumped right in to my techniques. Usually I make announcements and things first, but do stay on till the end when I make some announcements about Stampin' Up! Promotions, a promotion I have going, that sort of thing. Okay, so I just stamped a 2 1/4-inch circle, and I'm actually using the negative space. Typically we use our punched pieces, but I'm using this negative space as my mask. Now, if you want just to hold it in place, you can add a little washi tape. Or if you trust yourself, just hang on to it tightly, okay? Thanks to all of you who shared. I really appreciate it. And if you know any crafters and stampers who are looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, by all means, please refer me. I think of that as the greatest compliment is referrals. So I would appreciate that. Okay, so I did this, and now I'm going to use, we're going to start with Bermuda Bay for my water on the bottom. And I'm going to use, oh, look at what I just did. Never fails. I'm like usually pretty neat when I stamp on my own. I don't know what's the matter when I get on Facebook Live with you all. Okay, so I'm going to use Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to, I want a little piece of scrap paper here. Okay, and I'm just going to ink it up my sponge dauber pretty well, and I don't want it too terribly dark, so I'm going to rub a little off just so I see what intensity of color I have. And you can swirl it, you can go back and forth across. I'm kind of going across because I want it to look like I have a horizon line there. Okay. Actually, I didn't tape this on very straight, did I? So I'm looking at it at an angle, which is not helping me. But the show must go on, right? Okay. But like I said, I kind of swirled, but I also went back and forth because I want a horizon line to kind of appear there, okay? And then I'm going to use another dauber, and I'm going to work with Balmy Blue. Hi, Chrissy. Chrissy is one of my newest stampers, and honestly, you would never know she's such a new stamper. She's great, and loves to learn and gets so excited about this, so that's always fun for me. So again, kind of check your intensity before you start daubing on your paper. And you can daub, you know, very lightly like this, like I'm doing. You can go back and forth. You can kind of swirl, you know, whatever you want to do. Okay, there's not really a right or wrong answer. My swirling wasn't the greatest there. I might have been better to sponge a little bit like this. And you know, when you're dabbing with the sponge dauber like this, go very lightly. Okay, if you go dark, or not dark, but hard, you're going to get things like this. Okay, which is fun if you want to make a polka dot background, but on something like this, you just want to dab very lightly, or just go about it lightly like that. Okay, but you get the idea there, right? Okay, so isn't that pretty? Okay, and just makes a nice background if you want to do the sailboat or something, or anything else. You don't necessarily have to put a sailboat and water there. You can put a nice big greeting here, and it could be, you know, a tree branch or something. Okay, so that's one. Let me close these up. Okay, now I'm going to do something a little bit different. Okay, I could actually use this circle if I wanted to, but I want one that's actually a little bit smaller. And this time I'm going to use a Post-it note, just a simple standard Post-it note. Hi, Sylvia and Deb. Thanks for joining me. Please click the share button, ladies. Okay. Now, when I punch this 1.5 inch circle, I'm punching it so that so I'm getting some of that sticky. It definitely is hard to punch thin paper like sticky notes. So if you need to trim it off a little bit to perfect that circle, please do. But that's just the nature of the paper punches. They're designed to punch cardstock. Okay. All right. So now I have that little bit of sticky here, and I'm going to put this where I want it. Actually, I think I'm going to put it off to the side a little bit like this. Okay. And I'm going to do something very similar. Okay. I'm trying to think, which color should I use? Because I want it a little bit deeper color. Okay, I'm going to use a Mossy Meadow. Is that Mossy? No, wrong one. Mossy Meadow. And then for the sky, I want it a little bit darker, but not terribly, terribly dark. I think I will go with the Night of Navy, but I'm going to be careful about how dark I make this guy, okay? But watch what I do, okay? And again, if you want to, and I should have another piece of scrap paper, just because. I'm going to do this because I am actually going to be going off the cardstock when I do this, okay? So I'm going to use a deep, this deep green Mossy Meadow, okay? And again, with this, I'm just trying to make kind of a horizon line, but that circle, that punched, what do I say? Punch sticky note is my mask, okay? And again, your mask can be any shapes and sizes, just it's whatever effect you want. Not real happy with my sponging and daubing right there. I didn't want those circles like that. Let me see if I can fix that up a little. But I do want to get this darker, a little more intense color. Okay. Okay, remember, start light. You can always add more color, but you can't take it away, okay? So there's kind of in my horizon line. I'd say I'm pretty satisfied with that. Okay, I can keep going darker if I want. Okay, you could even blend different shades of green too. Okay, and now I am going to go in with my Night of Navy, leaving that mask in place. Okay. Inez, I think one time you asked me about doing a background maybe on a Lovely as a Tree card. I think it was a sympathy card. And this is one way you can do that. Okay. You can use the sponge roller. You can use regular sponges. Okay. Or you can use these fun sponge daubers. I kind of like the sponge daubers just because they take up less space, to be honest. And if you're a true crafter, you have gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of craft materials. So sometimes space gets to be an issue for us. But hey, I went from living in a big house with a big craft room, a separate room for my stamp classes, to my cute little ranch house that I love. So real stampers, we find a way, real crafters, we find a way to make it work in any size room that we work in. Okay, so now you see that. Okay, so this kind of gives me, hi Alice, thanks for sharing and for joining. Hi Leah. Okay, so this is going to kind of give you a little bit of a nighttime look to it. Okay, now if I don't want that completely stark white, I can go in there with a very light blue, just like that. Okay, just, I've got almost all the ink out of my sponge dauber, and I'm just going back and forth over this very, very lightly. Okay, see the difference between the stark white and the other? Okay, so that's another way, another form, or, you know, what do I want to say? Another form of masking. Here I've masked the background, and here I masked what I'm thinking of as the moon. Okay, and you know what? I didn't do that right. That's not how the moon appears on the. I just thought of that. That's not how the moon appears at the horizon, does it? Which I think it should be covered with green. What am I thinking? And nobody stopped me. But anyways, you get the idea, don't you? Okay. Okay. So there's kind of like, I'm thinking of this as like the moon rising. Okay. Alrighty. So you get the idea of that. You might add the silhouette of a tree here. Any kind of thing you can think of. A cute one, and I don't have the stamp set yet, that there's a very cute, I believe it has like Santa's sleigh and the reindeer. How cute would that be to make the whole thing the dark sky blue with the moon, and have Santa and his sleigh kind of illuminated against the moon, right? But there's a couple very basic masking techniques. Okay. Now I'm going to do something else. a little more involved, but even more fun, I think. Okay, and this is a technique that I learned way back in the day when I first started stamping, which is, and that was with my dear friend Susie Brunk. She's the one that got me into stamping and got me to join Stampin' Up! And become a demonstrator, and almost 11 years later I'm still a demonstrator, enjoying every moment of it. But I started with Susie back probably in 2006 stamping, and this was one of the first techniques I learned from Susie Brunk, who is now my upline. Okay, and basically I'm going to use, and if you haven't seen this, this is the Magnolia Blooms. If you look, it's not in the current catalog, but we have a small brochure with stamps and other products designed for beginning stampers, and everything, many of them in there complement products in our big annual catalog. So the Magnolia Blooms is sort of like an add-on or an easier step to the Magnolia Lane product suite. Okay, but what I'm going to do is, and I will be using my Post-it again, I'm going to pull off this Magnolia. And I'm going to think of it more as a rose. It doesn't have to be a magnolia, does it? Okay. To me, it looks like close enough to being a rose or something else. Alrighty. So I'm going to use my Memento ink because I'm going to be using Stampin' Blends markers to color. Now, when I do this, I want to be sure that some of my stamping is on the sticky part of the Post-it note, okay? Let me scroll up here, make sure I'm not missing any comments or questions. And I'm going to do that, okay? And notice too on this, there's a lot of detail in this stamp. There's some shaded areas and such, okay? So I'm going to set this aside for now, okay? What I'm going to do here is, and basically what I'm going to do is make a scene with several of the flowers, but I don't want them overlapping each other. So in other words, I don't want to just fill my cardstock like this, putting one over the other, okay? I want to have some separation so they all stand out on their own, okay? So what I'm going to do is just, I'm trying to think which way I want my card. I'll do a thank you card or happy birthday. Okay. And I'm going to start like this. Okay. Now I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to fussy cut. Don't run away because I said fussy cut. You could also use something that's punched, but on something like this, of course you're going to fussy cut. Okay, it doesn't take very long at all. This image has a nice clear border to cut along. While I'm doing this, I want to remind you that if you placed a Stampin' Up! Order of $50 or more last month, you should have received a bonus days coupon for each of the $50 of order. And I want to remind you that those bonus coupons from Stampin' Up! Do need to be used this month. So you'll need to search for that email they sent you the codes in, and then apply those to your orders this month. If you do not use them this month, they're gone, okay? So either use them or lose them, okay? But you do need the codes for that. And Chrissy, I will work with you on yours, okay? So we can talk about that next class I see you at. Hi, Tammy. It's not too late, not too late to press your ladies, okay? So now I've put that Post-it note flower that I fussy cut, and I'm going to stamp other flowers on top of it, okay? I had a bunch of, I don't know. Oh, here they are. When I've used up some large grid paper, instead of throwing it away, I cut it into fourths and it becomes scrap paper that I can use on top of my Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay. So now I can stamp over this and it doesn't ruin my first image. Okay, this is where we are. Okay. And I'm going to do something like this. Okay. And then I want to do this. Okay, I feel like I need something down below here too as well. For some reason, I always like to have things kind of going off my cardstock. Okay, I think that's a little bit more realistic looking. Okay. So now look what happens when I pick up the sticky note. Okay. I'm going to hold this a little bit closer, but you can see that original flower with its leaves is intact without anything stamped over it. Okay. So now what I can do is I can, and I'll hold on to this in case I want to use it again. Okay. So now I can start coloring some of these. Let's see here. This lovely lipstick. Let's see. And I'll do a couple of different colors of my flowers. Okay. And I want granny apple green for my leaves. Some bright yellows in there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with lovely lipstick, Stampin' Blends, and I'm just going to go over pretty much the whole flower, all of the petals with the lovely lipstick light Stampin' Blend. Okay, remember you can get a combo pack, light and dark, and I always suggest that starting out you buy both the dark and the light to work with, because that's what Stampin' Blends are all about. Okay, blending the different colors. Okay. And then if you use up one more than the other, it's really easy to replace one shade or the other. Okay, depending on if you use the light or dark more. Ooh, I can hear it storming. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, but can you see how I've stamped that original image, and it doesn't matter how many more I've stamped around it, I've still got that original flower image because of the Post-it note that I stamped on. Okay. Ooh, it's really coming down out there. Hopefully nothing will happen to the power. That's happened a couple of times where there's been a storm. Right now it just sounds like heavy rain. Is it raining where you are? Okay. And then I can go back in after I've added some dark accents. I might go back in and highlight a little bit more. Okay. And basically the goal of using Stampin' Blends is to get some various tones of the same color blended, okay, which gives it more dimension, okay. I go even in here a little bit more with some of these dark areas, okay. Okay, I'm going to do my leaves. I'm using, this is Granny Apple Green. But now as I'm coloring the leaves, you can see even more so how that original stamped image stands out from all the others. Now, I could leave it exactly like this, and I could call this a spotlighting technique. I'm spotlighting that one flower. But I'm going to continue coloring because I like to color, and I'm going to add some other colors of roses. Okay, right now I'm using the Mango Melody Light Stampin' Blends marker. Okay. Be sure and close up your markers, your Stampin' Blends, when you switch colors or shades, because these are water-based, so they will dry out if you leave them open. Unlike our stamp pads, you know, I can leave my stamp pads open during an entire class and they don't dry out at all. On occasion, I've even forgotten to close them up in my craft room after working. And I had no problem with the stamp pads drying out, but the ink pads are made from, are water-based, whereas our Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based, and alcohol evaporates and dries much more quickly. Karen, I'm in the Columbus, Ohio area. I live in a community called Westerville, but it's a suburb of Columbus. Yes, I am a Buckeye. Go Bucks. Football season isn't too far away. Let's see, I need a darker something for here. I think this is pumpkin pie. I'm going to fill that center in like this. Okay. You can even blend other different colors. You don't have to stick with just the light and the dark of any kind of version. And Kieran, are you the person that said you're from, let me think, Arizona? Or was that somebody else? Hi, Terry Jones. Ramona, yes. Hi, Mary Lou. Ramona, you are right. The Post-it notes make the masking technique so much easier. Okay. Okay, I'm still going to add a little more in here. Okay. And let's see, how about yellow? My dad would give my mom yellow roses. Okay. Okay, so now think of this as like a bouquet with different color roses or flowers, or your garden even. You might have different shades of the same flowers. Okay. But what I love about this is with the masking, you can really see each flower on its own, okay? One stamped image doesn't take away from the first. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to put some darker accents in here. I've been a little bit MIA in terms of posting on Facebook and my blogging in the last, I don't know, week and a half. Good reason for that. There's just so many hours in a day. And I've been working on some other things, other parts of my business. So I'm very excited to announce that, and I wanted to have it ready for last week, but like I said, there just weren't enough hours in the day, so it didn't happen. But I'm very excited to announce that by the end of the week, I will be offering classes to go. Okay? So that means that you can partake in those classes to go. Thanks, Kathy. I love getting compliments like that. Okay? But anyways, if you are familiar with my classes that I do in person, like who else? Who's watching? Ramona, Chrissy, Robin Agee. Okay. You make several cards for a particular price, or in-person classes also have the opportunity to place orders. But anyways, the classes to go will contain all the materials, supplies you need, I should say the consumable things you need to complete a set of cards. And it may be based on a particular theme. It could be, or holiday, or it could be all occasion cards too. Okay. And I would let you know that ahead. I even show a picture of some of the cards, if not all of them. A lot of times it might just be some. Not sure yet. And I say that because that's what I do for my in-person classes. They usually get a sneak peek of some of the cards, not necessarily all of the cards we're doing. I like there to be surprises too. But anyways, and then you'll have, once I post them, there will be price and other information and a registration link. And you will have approximately 2 weeks to register for the class to go. Once the deadline is up, then I would determine how many people have signed up for the class to go, as well as I want to add some blue background here. I don't like my things just floating in the air. Do a happy birthday. Where was I? What was I saying? Oh, help me out. My middle-aged brain is shutting down. It's been a really, really long day. You'll have 2 weeks once I get a total of who is registered, and I will then place my order, my demonstrator order for everything that's needed. And then once I get that, I will cut all the materials and then, thank you, Kathy, and then get all the packets put together. They will be sent by priority mail. I use the flat rate shipping, so that shipping's always the same. And the classes to go will have things cut, scored, punched, die cut, the dry embossing, like with the embossing folders, that kind of thing will be done, with the exception of if there's something that you need to stamp and then punch or cut out. So for example, like if this was in one of the kits, I would not go ahead and die cut this sailboat, because you would need to stamp it first and then die cut it. Okay. I will tell you what bundle or stamp set is needed for the card kit. If you already have it, great. You just buy the basic class to go. If you don't have that bundle or stamp set, or can't borrow it from somebody, whatever, then you can add that to your order. And when you add that to your order, you're actually going to be getting a savings on that. because I'm giving you a break on the shipping that you would normally pay to Stampin' Up! For that, since I'm paying the shipping and it's coming to me, and then you're paying the shipping to have the kit sent to you, okay? But like I said, with flat rate shipping, you can add other products to that, and then so if you need to order the bundle or the stamp set to do the card kit, you can do that without adding shipping because of that flat rate priority mailing I use. Oh, what's wrong with my daubing and swirling and stuff? It's a little messy right there. I'm a little off tonight. Tuesdays are really long days for me. I get home at 6 and it's kind of a rush, and I always come home hungry, so I have to eat before I do anything else. And I still have work to do once this ends. Okay, so you get the gist of that, right? Okay, and we might as well go ahead and finish off this card, right? Because I'm guessing that somebody would like to get it, okay? I'm actually going to mount this on a piece of black. I think that would look kind of neat. Let me see here. Okay, how many of you are going to be trying the, need to cut this down a little bit. Okay, so this was, I have to think, 5 by 3 3/4. And I just want a small border, so I'm going to do 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, be sure and comment if you're watching, because I will enter you into the drawing to receive this card. And is there anybody who is willing to take on the challenge of doing, completing a card with one or both of these if I mailed them to you? And then you can send me the picture or you can post it on this site to share. Does anybody want to take on the challenge of doing that? Okay. There might be a little prize involved once you do it and post your photo or share the photo with me. Anybody? Oh, come on. Somebody's got to be up for the challenge. Okay, I just got a little bit of dark ink up there, and that doesn't make me happy. Okay. Oh, ladies, come on, I'm waiting. I am new, just learning. I need to watch. Oh, Kathy, you're funny. It would be a great challenge, though. Anybody? Oh, come on. There's got to be somebody out here willing to take on the challenge. Come on, somebody. I've even given you some hints, some ideas of what you can do there to finish that off. Okay, so there's that card, okay? And you know it's always fun if you make a really pretty card to go ahead and make a really pretty envelope. If I can find my, here it is. Okay, and maybe I'll just go ahead and color this in now. Okay, who wants to win this card? Okay, couple other announcements I'll make while I'm finishing off this envelope. I mentioned bonus days. I mentioned the classes to go are coming. Oh, one thing I wanted to say about classes to go. If, and number one, I can do something for groups. So in other words, say a number of you, you like, a class to go, and you have friends who you think would like to also, what I can do is you each purchase the kit, and maybe the host of the little craft group or one person in that craft group would purchase the stamp set or bundle, and then you all share it. So you kind of have your own little stamping group or class to go group. And I would love for that to happen, and that might be something where I could actually pop in on you through a Facebook Live or Zoom, something like that. But I think that would be lots of fun. Okay, Ramona, you're up for the challenge. I love you, girl. Thank you for accepting this challenge. I cannot wait to see what you create. I am going to send you, are you up for doing both, Ramona? Making card for each of these? As I see it right now, you're the only one who has volunteered to take on this challenge. And please don't be scared, ladies. You got to remember, I was a beginner once myself, and all of us here are beginners. I'm still learning great new techniques from other demonstrators and other stampers and crafters. A lot of times I even have some of my own customers showing me something new, maybe a new way to use a product or a stamp or a stamping technique they saw on another site or found on Pinterest. So I'm always learning too. So please don't ever let your experience level control or influence you or prevent you from taking part in challenges and from showing your work. One thing I wish I had happening more on my sites, both this one and my Stampin' Piece VIP group, is more sharing of all of the work you all do, okay? Well, you know what, Ramona? It doesn't matter. You say, I am not. I'm not sure what that means. Are you volunteering, Ramona? You might have to send me a message. I thought you were volunteering when you said me, okay? Maybe you were talking about winning the card, okay? I'm just going to put this out there right now. If one of you is willing to take on the challenge of making a card from these two masked card fronts, I'm going to offer you a set of Christmas dimensionals, okay? Not dimensionals, Christmas rhinestones, okay? I don't have my catalog in front of me, but there's a few colors in that pack. Oh, you're not? Ramona, come on. Alrighty, anybody willing to take on the challenge? You can do one, the other, or both, okay? And I will, once you've made the card and either sent it to me or sent me a photo or posted it on the site, I will send you a set of holiday rhinestones. I can't believe you guys aren't jumping at that. Come on. Okay. All right, so that's it. I am finished. Our extra recruiting promotion is going on. Mona, I love you. Thank you. And trying, that's all I'm asking. You just try and you do it. Okay? Extra recruiting promotion. Get an extra $30 of product of your choice when you purchase our starter kit. So that means total you will get to choose. Again, it's your choice. Our starter kits are completely 100% customizable. You will get to choose a total of $155 of current Stampin' Up! Product from the catalog, the clearance rack, online, etc. And you will pay just $99 plus tax, and your starter kit will ship free. So $99 plus tax, approximately, depending on where you live and what your tax rate is. For me, it's 7.5%. So if you're buying in my area, it would cost you $107.50 total out the door to get $155 of product that you want. Okay, so it's a great deal. I'm working at getting more demonstrators on my team. I'd love to have at least one from all of the 50 United States. My most recent one is from Wyoming. Patty Schuler joined with me last week. And please know that I will be your upline who is supportive, who will guide you. I will not pressure you or push you. I may challenge you at times, but for the most part, you take your lead on your demonstratorship. You do as much or as little as you want with Stampin' Up, okay? So that means, you know, if you just want to enjoy the discount for a while, by all means, do that. I might help you along and say, hey, give you reminders, hey, now is a good time to take advantage of whatever and get a few extra flex points, that sort of thing. Or if you want to build a business, I can help you get classes started. But if you don't want to sell or have classes and events, you don't have to. You can still purchase the starter kit and enjoy your discount. Okay, so let me know if you're interested in that. I think that's it. If you are in need of a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. And the first thing I can do for you in earning your business is send you a Stampin' Up! Catalog. So please let me know if you need that. And my next Facebook Live will be this Thursday at 2 p.m. on my Stampin' Piece VIP group. Okay? If you are not currently in my Stampin' Piece VIP group, all you have to do is search Stampin' Piece VIP group in the Facebook search, okay? And you just click join, and it'll alert me that you made a request to join. I go in, click approve, and you're done and you're in, okay? So real simple and real easy. And I'm going to start posting some more challenges and things on that site very soon. Alrighty, ladies, have a great end to your Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Any questions? Any suggestions or requests for future Facebook Lives? Okay then. Ramona, I will mail these to you and I'll send you a message. I'll pick one lucky winner tonight to receive this card and envelope in the mail. And I think that's it. I don't think I saw any more questions or anything. Okay. Kathy, you are welcome. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's live demonstration. Have a great week. Happy stamping. And let's all pray for peace. This has been kind of an emotional last few days for me. Turning on the news has been very upsetting. And so let's just all pray for peace. Okay? Have a great week. Bye-bye.